Well, hello, my beautiful friends. How are y'all doing today? I hope everybody is doing super great on this beautiful Wednesday. Happy hump day, all y'all. Thank you all for understanding me not being here the last 2 days. Monday was a really hard day. I went down memory lane quite often and spent some time at the cemetery. Took some tacos, his favorite food. Ate ate my tacos. I left him a Dr. Pepper on his headstone. It was a good but sad day. And then yesterday, I was mentally, physically, emotionally just worn out. So I needed that extra day, and I apologize for that, but I appreciate everybody for understanding. I hope you are all doing good. I have missed y'all. I really have. Really, really have. Let's see who all we've got here in chat today with us. And it is still Autism Awareness Month, and we will be putting this up while I say hello to everyone today. Mama May, hello there. Hi, Marina girl. 'Tis me. How are you? Did you send me an email? Because I don't think I ever received one from you. Hi, Dee Marie. Hey, TJ. Hey, Chit Chat. Annabella. Hi, Miss Kathy. Hi, Panda Bear's mom. How are you? Hey, Blue Eyes. I am doing okay. Doing all right. Let's see. Bobby, how are you today? Good to have you. Hey, Justice Mama and Maritha. Sabrina. Hello, hello. Mari, how are you? Let's see. Tina Girl. Roxy R. Hello. Hi, Peggy. How are you doing? Brown Eyed Girls. Heather. Hi, Miss Ida. How are you? Goodness, we got a good house here today. Millie. Love you, sweet Millie. Hi, Teresa. Sky Maiden. How are you? Thank you for that. That's so sweet. Hope Floats. How are you doing? There's Miss Kathy Bartholomew. Hello, hello. Let's see who else we got up in here. Town Chat Cafe. Just subscribed. West of Weatherford, Texas. Well, I must travel right through your area when I go to Abilene to spend time with my best friend and her family. Big Tex up in the place. Hello, Sabrina, my Texas friends. Good. Good to hear you're doing well, Miss Ida. Good. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you all for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Hi, Happy Gal Brenda. How are you? All the way from Ohio. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all are so great and amazing. I'm so lucky to have you guys here. So, today's title, Native Indians Saying About Death. We're going to have a talk about that here in just a second because it's a little disturbing for me. But before we get started, this has been out there and I wanted to, let me see which one it is. I wanted to go ahead and read this. Let me see. It is from, oh my goodness. I don't guess I got it. let me pull this up real quick. Yes. Okay, here it is. It says Seth Rogers is a, let me see. I'm trying to find it on my phone, but I can't. Okay, Seth Rogers is a close coworker of mine. We sat through classes together, and not a day went by he didn't talk about his son. This really breaks my heart, as we never know what the next person's going through. Not a day goes by I don't think about you. I don't follow news outlets, but I search every day hoping for some update on Sebastian. That's basically put out there, and I'm wanting to read it for anybody in the bushes who think anything negative towards Seth. This was something nice to hear, and I thought I would share that with you. So, hey, Pitter Patter and Brian, how are you? Welcome, welcome, everybody. Okay. So let's get started with Sebastian. Day one, they tell us he ran away. Very, very first thing we ever hear is that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, 15-year-old boy who has autism, had ran away from home. Almost 14 months later, there are very few people left who believe that he ran away from home. All of his shoes are accounted for. So does that mean he went out of that home barefooted? Here we are all these months later, and we're learning there's a neighbor across the street whose Ring camera catches the whole front end of the Proudfoot's home. Katie tells us he left out the front door. It was a process of elimination because all the other doors were locked. But yet the neighbor's Ring camera does not show the front door open at all. No window was raised. Nobody climbed out a window. There's 18 scent dogs that were set out to search for Sebastian and to find his scent. But they didn't find his scent. The only scent they captured was his steps down the driveway, and it stops. Does that mean someone came and picked him up that night? Well, according to the Ring camera across the street, no. There was no car that came during the middle of the night or early morning of that day and stopped in front of their house. So it's hard to say that he ran away. There has been no evidence of him running away. Day 7 of the investigation, looking into this missing runaway child, it becomes an investigation, a criminal investigation. They're looking at different angles. Lots of searches have been done surrounding that home and further out. We're talking different agencies. Several different agencies come and they look for Sebastian. And In the meantime, there's nothing to help figure out where he went. As time goes on, the parents start to do their interviews, and it becomes very clear that something's not right because their interviews never tell the same story. There's always changes to their story and their timeline. So we begin to look into things a little more. There is a short clip of a video taken from a camera right at the corner of Kellen and Stafford Drive. This camera would shoot towards the Proudfoot's backyard area. This little video was recorded by a cell phone and leaked out to Nick Barris, who shared it with everyone. Okay. All right, Narita, I will find that for sure. This 3 a.m. flashlight video has been looked over, talked about, discussed. We even have other creators who have gone out there and tried their best to recreate that footage and put out a narrative that it doesn't even show the backyard of the Proudfoot's home. They say it only shows the street going up Stafford. And that's because their video, they had the camera angled in that direction. The footage we see has 2 flashlights of some sorts, 2 light sources coming through from their backyard, from the Proudfoot's backyard, across the common space, which is the space between the backyards, and to a waiting car, who, as they start to approach, the car starts up. The headlights come on, the taillights come on. It is very obvious and plain to see. We talked the other day about how Mr. Chris told the story that it was a man carrying his garbage to the end of the driveway. Although that's not correct. We've had lots of speculations being thrown out there about this, that, and the other, and it comes from a side that support the mother and the father. I, on the other hand, support Sebastian. Lots and lots of things happening behind the scenes that lead to so many distractions that almost every channel has at one time or another had to combat it. It's so hard to sit here and talk about Sebastian every day, knowing that if you say anything that might implicate the mother and the stepfather, you're in the middle of the bullseye. I thought over the past 6 months, multiple times about wanting to back away, but I remember my promise I made to Sebastian. I just can't do it. In the meantime, the actions, the words, the comments, the threats, they all continue. Narita, thank you so much for that sweet soul, you. Thank you. Here we go. Let's give a little thank you to Narita. Thank you, Narita. You're so sweet. There's lots and lots of footage out there, guys, that it gets taken out of context. There's so much with this case. There's so many what they call sock accounts out there that are astronomical numbers. It's crazy. But when there's recordings that people have of parents who have spoke out, those are words. Sorry about the dogs. Those are words that can't be taken back. Please don't, guys. Please don't. I'm fixing to play some words that Mr. Chris said. And I want you to listen very carefully to the words that the stepfather says about this missing child. Panda Bear's mom, thank you for this. They got all basal cell carcinoma out yesterday, stitches out in 2 weeks. Panda Bear's mom, that is wonderful news. Oh my gosh, y'all put up some happy clapping hands or something for our Panda Bear's mom. That is amazing and super duper exciting news. Yes, God is good. Thank you for that. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for that, letting us know that more than anything. That is amazing. September Virgo. Looky here. She says, hey, beautiful Lolly, we missed you. Just wanted to tell you that you're an amazing mother, past, present, and future. You are so loved. I'm cooking dinner but listening. Thank you, sweet girl. Thank you. I tell you, it's a hard day. It is a hard day, and it's not going to matter how long he's been gone. It will always be a hard day. But thank you all for helping me make it through there. Thank you for that. Okay, guys, I am going to play this real quick. It is not very long. It's very short. It is a TikTok video, and listen to what Mr. Chris says about the Native Indians saying they have. It's very disturbing, guys. Here we go.
Since y'all messed everything up, and now I have to go on YouTube because bed crime stories discovered something I haven't heard, and I don't know if I've heard it on TikTok, but I need y'all to listen.
You mean to tell me everything that's tragic in your life, you don't ever stop? You lose somebody in your life, and all you do is you just sit there and have the negative times, and you don't stop to have and reminisce. Well, I remember when Uncle so and so or Grandpa did this and Grandpa did that. Like, you don't ever do that. Here's all right. So I'm not going to get religious on this aspect of this, but there is a saying, a Native American saying, that they say that when you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. But when you die, the world cries and you rejoice.
One more time.
That they say that when you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. But when you die, the world cries and you rejoice.
That's what I thought he said. If you need another reminder of dumb shit CP has said, here you go.
Very boring case. If you took away all the crap, is just a simple, we have a 15-year-old autistic child that is missing. And unfortunately, the best part about it is he has managed to do this without any evidence left behind whatsoever.
He wasn't here. Between the hours of, 12 and 6, he has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked, and gone. A lot of speculations about that video that are floating on the internet. Okay, and that is exactly what it is. It's speculations. Now, what I can give you an official statement on is TBI Newslink has released a statement from law enforcement, between local law enforcement, state law enforcement, some federal law enforcement, and they have analyzed that video so many times over that everything that everybody is trying to assume is a flashlight, I hate to say this, it's not. As much as we would love it to be one, it's not. I'm not going to go into details as far as where that video is shot from.
Since y'all messed everything up.
Okay, guys. So what did you think about that? That saying, his words. Because there is no reason that ever needed to be said. Hang on just one moment. Let me put this up here just so you can all see and read it for yourself. It is there it goes. It's a Native American saying. And it says, it often attributes to the Cherokee, okay? When you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life in a manner that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. Why was that needed? Why in the hell would Christopher Proudfoot need to say those words? Is there something that he knows? Is that the reason he is causing so much destruction? Is that the reason he's on the hate side? The side that cannot stop putting out hate and talking so horrible to people. Is there something that Mr. Chris and Sebastian's mother, Katie, knows? Is that why they were able to go on vacation and leave the house that their runaway child left from? That was absolutely uncalled for, saying that when you're talking about a missing child. I don't understand how it's okay for him to sit there and make those kinds of comments. But his father, who's searching, who's sending flyers out, who's doing all the things that he can possibly to find his child, gets completely ridiculed and destroyed. Thank you, my sweet friend. If you were gifted a membership from our Blue Eyes Jewel, please tell her thank you. Please. She did that out of the kindness of her heart. And we want to say thank you to her for that. And welcome to the membership.
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a break and get down? Welcome to the South.
Thank you, Blue Eyes. I appreciate you. I want to show y'all something. And the only reason I'm showing you. Whoops. Hit the wrong button. Okay. The reason I'm showing you this is because after that saying, I'm starting to wonder if this wouldn't be possibly true. This states Christopher Proudfoot thought that beating Sebastian was okay because his mother, his mommy, hated him. Talking about Sebastian. Brian Laundrie thought it was okay to abuse and then kill Gabby because Roberta hated her. Shannon Watts and Christopher Watts' mother didn't get along either. Chris's mother defends him to this day. Is this the mothers of people who have done away with their family members? The people that they're supposed to love, the person they're supposed to love? This pretty much sums it up. It's sad to say, but after listening to the words that Mr. Chris spoke about the native Indian saying, it makes you wonder. He's the one that told Seth on day one, what are you going to do if this thing goes south? Seth automatically replied, I guess I'm going south. What are you talking about? And Chris said, what if he's no longer alive? Yes. Yes, Miss Kathy, you are correct. Hi, Miss Magoo. So he's already from day one put that theory out there that Sebastian is no longer with us. Katie has said law enforcement has told her that he's probably no longer alive. That narrative keeps getting put out there. And then they continue to talk about other things. There's so much hate going around. It's unreal. I can't stand beside anyone that's going to talk as if Sebastian's no longer alive until he is found and we know the truth. There's always hope. This young man deserved a life so much better than what Mr. Chris dealt him. The CPS cases, Mr. Chris proudly explains he only has 3 cases against him. Well, that's 3 too many. We sit here every day and try our best to do what we can to put out information, to figure out why other information is being put out when we know it's not true. It does, Jacqueline. I agree. But we're sitting here discussing this case. Yes, bad actor. The other 2 are on his mother. The last report that was filed with CPS was just weeks before he went missing, guys. Weeks before. And we're not supposed to question any of it. None of it, because they know the truth. When we sit here and talk about Sebastian, my whole focus should be centered on Sebastian, and it's easy for me to get distracted with all the crap that gets put out there. Well, see, Brian, that's a funny thing. We don't know what police have. But we do know for a fact there are pieces of evidence that takes a long time to get the results back. We have to have faith. Yes, Miss Kathy, it's very, very similar, isn't it? You're right, Bobby. This is America. We can question what we want. Although some on YouTube would beg to differ that. And that's the saddest part. This is a young man's life we're talking about. So while all the hate and all the explanations of why and what the real story would be, it's not helping to find Sebastian. There's a narrative that's being played out before our eyes. Thank you, Annabella. She says, I have faith we will get answers soon. I sure hope so. The sooner, the better. Because this young man deserves it. He deserves way better than he had and way better than what he's getting now. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. There's so much. And I heard that TikTok with Chris saying, when you die, you rejoice. Was Sebastian rejoicing? Hi, Holly. Thank you for that, sweet, beautiful lady. You. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. But my question goes back to, was Sebastian rejoicing? Was he? Hey, Brenda Sue and Grace Paris. Hello. Did Sebastian have any say-so in what happened to him? Because we know there's no evidence of him leaving the house. That means he had to have been taken out of the house. So whoever took him out of the house did Sebastian have a say-so in that? Did he want to leave that home? Is there a possibility of hope that he is still with us and out there somewhere? I want to know, is that hope possible? His father holds it tight. Hope. And while he's holding that hope, he gets bombarded, tore down, hate like you wouldn't believe. Now, there's a new little clip from across the streets where they're talking about the location of his father's home, and there's a dump site nearby. They want to know if it was checked. Of course, let's make sure to shift the focus away from the dump site, the landfill, that they actually went and searched. They cannot leave real evidence alone. They have to dispel it over onto his dad. Oh, yeah, the dump site near Gallatin. And, although there's speculation as to were they just going to look through stuff or what, friends, you can't just go look through stuff any place you want to, even if you're law enforcement. There's a legal process. You have to have just cause to go and search. There's something called a warrant that is needed. It has to be signed by a judge, and it has to be something that is actually plausible It can't be, we got a hunch, we want to just double check. That's not going to be it. But there's been no need to search the one by Seth's house. But of course, that narrative has been put out there, just like the narrative they tried to spin with Bobby the neighbor and her children, her sons, playing flashlight tag with Sebastian at 3:00 in the morning on a school night. Exactly, Brown Eyes. Yes, Seth has a solid alibi. In my opinion, get over it, you haters. Exactly. Exactly. They can't. They can't help themselves. Exactly, Brian. The cameras did follow her. We saw her searching with her windows rolled up and taking 31 seconds to drive down a street. Mob Crew even last night played that video as she flashed by real fast. You don't search doing that. You search for your dog better than she's doing for Sebastian. But does she know something, like Mr. Chris just stated earlier? That's my question. Does she know she didn't have to search? Because she possibly was one of the flashlights or the iPhone watch light or a headlamp light. Was she one of those? And she knew that he was not in the neighborhood because that car was taking him away? Yes, Sweet Sativa, Mob Crew is so good at what he does. And yet they think he's like absolutely horrible. Horrible. I don't understand it. But what Mob Crew puts out is facts of what happened. He shows it. And they don't like it because it goes completely against their narrative. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Because those of us who know what we see with our very own eyes, and those of us who have common sense, we see what's happening. But it's still hard when the attacks come. You're right, Heather. They do not want the truth exposed because the truth will get them in trouble, in my opinion. Allegedly, and so on and so on. Oh, to get rid of evidence. I don't think she got rid of evidence on that road in the neighborhood at all. There was no way she would have time to do that. Yes, Heather, there's been several creators who've turned on Seth and Sebastian. Yes. Because the other side is not for Sebastian. They're mixing drama with true crime, and the two do not mix well at all. None. And although we all have our different mindsets, different opinions, different things that we see and what we want to look at and look into. It's all different. That's not the problem. The problem lies when someone thinks differently than you and you attack. That's the problem. Because I say it's red and somebody else sees it as purple, there's no reason to attack. But that's basically how simple the attacks begin. They are making a lot of money and spreading all the lies. You know, the saddest part of all, with every bit of the good and the bad and the ugly and all the things that are going on and happening and being said, and all the fake emails and text messages and phone calls and all the letters that are being drawn up, put out there. Sebastian's still missing. Where is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? That's what I want to know. Where is Sebastian? I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to do stupid stuff. I'm not going to play with people who insult my intelligence by trying to make me see things their way. Oh, Grace, bless your heart. It's obvious that this child did not just run away from his home. There are so many video cameras in that whole entire neighborhood. He would have been seen at some point, and he wasn't. "18 search dogs, 18 of them. No scent of Sebastian's was found away from their property. This young man, according to law enforcement, has no evidence to prove that he ever walked away from his home. It's that simple, folks. It's that simple. It's not hard to see that a mother and a stepfather can't tell a story even remotely close. The words they use completely changes the timeline each and every time they speak. Those are huge, crucial points. Sebastian had been gone less than 2 weeks. And the mother and the stepfather are on vacation. That does not even make any sense. They say she leaves a blanket, a pair of shoes, and some snacks on the front porch for her son when they go away. But my question is, doesn't he know the code to get in the front door? Do you not want him back in your home? Should he come back? So you're just giving him some amenities to have out in the wilderness, wherever he might be. That doesn't even make sense. at all. We have a young man that was just a few months shy of going to live with his father. However, the stepfather had a custody hearing in a couple of weeks. And should Sebastian ever be called to the stand to testify as a child who lives in that home, he would have told the truth. Conveniently, he's no longer in the home. We have all these recordings and we can go back and listen to them and play them and all the things of every time the mother and stepfather talk. There's only one of those interviews that was done in their own home. And that was the Olivia video. The rest were done elsewhere. Dateline comes to talk to them. Most Wanted, America's Most Wanted. Sorry, guys. America's Most Wanted came to talk to them, the three parents, to ask questions, to interview them, to talk to them. And Seth let them into his home. He said they videoed Sebastian's room, just how he left it. The bed has presents from Christmas and his birthday still sitting on the bed, waiting for him to come back home. Katie and Chris drive to an undisclosed location in another town to meet with them. So that makes me question what is left in that home that belonged to Sebastian. Anything? Is his room completely empty? Brand new carpet? What is the problem with doing an interview in your own home? You invite YouTubers over there. They sit down in your home with you and talk to you. But the news outlets who's going to get his face out nationwide to everyone that wants to see it around the earth. And you have to travel to another town and meet at an undisclosed location. You don't want to show them the home that Sebastian grew up in. Why? Why? Something is going on and things are not right with this case. And yes, I've heard things about Seth. I've heard how he talks to people and some of the language he might use was inappropriate. But does that make him a person to kidnap his child and to play this game for 13 and a half months? I don't see it. I see a man who's completely broken. That's what I see. A man who was at work, locked up in a jail facility all night long. That's what I see. A father who misses his child, whose eyes are so puffy and swollen, it's hard to see and focus because of the amount of tears that you never knew your body could produce. That's what I see. I see a mother who makes the attempt to cry, but we've not seen tears roll down her face. I see a stepfather who's never even attempted to cry. Yet we see the real father with tears rolling uncontrollable down his face. I see a mother, when asked what he's like, describe him so that people who are searching will know when they see him that it's him. Y'all have heard me say it 100 times before, and I'm going to keep reminding Katie that when she says he likes shiny things, it's the most ridiculous answer a mother could ever put out there. If this child is hiding in the woods somewhere, there are no pennies or paper clips to recognize him playing with. She calls him a blonde-haired boy. A boy with blonde hair. His hair, I'm sorry, guys, it's not blonde. It's brown. Miss Kathy, I've heard it is possible until it is all over and done and the custody thing is settled completely. He has rights to her. The same man has rights to his daughter that he went before a judge and told a judge he is not worried about having his daughter in his home because they have never been threatened. But yet he turns around and he tells the judge that he's terrified of Bullhorn Betty and her machete and her pistol. Which one is it? Are you scared or are you not scared in the story? Because if he's not scared of his daughter being in that home, then there is nothing he could have against Bullhorn Betty. But yet he puts on a good show in court that he's scared of this woman who is half of his size. Yes, Magic Star, disingenuous excuses, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, September, he's talking out of his ass, for sure. He talks according to the subject, according to the attitude of the person he's talking to. Tap dancer Lizzie, you've got it 100% there. In my opinion, Nina and Faith should be scared. Yes. As a mother, the whole time your child is with him, could you imagine what Nina goes through? Even being with Katie. Katie was all part of that, laughing, Facebook Live recording of Nina freaking out. The judge gave the baby back to her. Katie's laughing and mocking her as they're handing that baby off. Oh, as Christopher's sister actually throws the baby at her. It's unnecessary. It's disgusting, and it's all part of that script. with Nina. They've all planned this together, and I'm assuming, because Mr. Chris talks about American or Native Indian saying that they've done this to Sebastian together. It makes me sick for that child that go to her father's home. I could not begin to imagine the fear that Nina feels. Her child being exposed to these people. The people that play their script so well. I agree, Sam. He's up to his fat neck in it. In our opinion, yes. I don't know where Sebastian is. I have no clue as to what actually happened to that child. But I can say, if you take the words of his mother and his stepfather, the ones that lived in the home with Sebastian, and he went missing from their home, it doesn't take a genius to figure out something's bad, way off. Oh, yeah. Everybody wave to him because we know he's in here. We know he's listening. Yes. Heather, I think the panic in her is all because she's realizing they're not buying it. What are we going to do? Oh, shit. And I hope so. I hope that's how they feel. I hope that they are starting to panic, because if they have done this to Sebastian, then they deserve what's coming to him. And if at the end of the day, all the evidence pointed to Seth being the one that did this to his son, I would say the same exact words. I would. Because I'm here for Sebastian. So whoever took that child away from his home and did something with him, they deserve what's coming their way. Yeah, isn't that funny, Miss Kathy? She says, in my opinion, I remember Nina saying CP hates the fact that her daughter is part Native American. So why is he quoting anything Native American? Exactly. Exactly. There's so much that's being put out that's negative. But guys, there's so much being done for the positive. And we cannot forget that part. Oh, okay, Sharon. I'll have to look at that. Goodness. Oh, he and Mr. Crystal Clear. Justice is coming for you and all. People get to the breaking point being a creator, being a subscriber, you can have your breaking points when you are attacked so many times over and over and over again. But yet that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for your breaking point. Hey, Justin. They're waiting for it. Sometimes it's easier to quit and walk away and move on. But was it easy for Sebastian to be taken away and move on? I'm going to guess probably not. I'm going to guess that Sebastian would much rather have been taken to his father's house than wherever he currently is. I can't walk away from Sebastian. To MM, who's that, Rachel? Right? They probably look harder for Chris's wallet than she did for her own child. Yeah, Terry, you just want to scream out to Ellie, please come and give us a morsel. He has, Justin. He so has been failed. And the people that failed him the very most in his life are making a mockery out of the whole thing. And it's absolutely disgusting. There's people that are being told lies and fed lies and threats and all the things. Lives have been affected that don't even have a YouTube channel. Guys, the United Cajun Navy, we heard their own words. They wanted to help at the very beginning. But they started receiving death threats. Why? Oh, okay. MMO. Okay, got you. Gotcha. Okay. I will do that for sure. Why would anyone who is searching for a child using their time, their energy, their motivation be threatened? And that was at the very, very beginning of this child's case. Death threats, cars tampered with, tires slashed. It's uncalled for, but it's happened. It's happened so much. It is still happening behind the scenes. Guys, we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop until Sebastian is found. He needs to be found. This can stop. And whoever is listening and knows what happened to him, y'all might want to be the first one to talk. Because the others may talk first. Things are happening with law enforcement. They can only go as fast as the process will allow it. It is so easy to get discouraged and so easy to get aggravated, because I get aggravated. Something needs to happen. This child deserves better. There's so much already out there. Why can't they do something? But then I have to step back and remember, how do I know that they're not? That's the thing. We have to be able to be patient, continue to talk about Sebastian, continue to move forward, continue to hold his dad up with the hope that he's holding on to. Because you see, his dad doesn't take vacations. If his dad has free time, he's working to find his son, unlike the mother and the stepfather. And they can try to beat Seth down all they want. I do not believe the lies that keeps being put out against him. So we have to stay vigilant, guys. We have to continue. Even if we just come on here and talk, and I read what you're putting in chat, or somebody come up on panel and say what you have to say, whatever it is, we're gonna continue to talk about Sebastian. But you guys are being affected as well. And that is so sad to me, because I hate when they attack creators, subs. I'm the one that made the choice to come onto YouTube and have a channel and talk. Yes, and I remember that. Someone thought they saw Sebastian in Gatlinburg. Mm-hmm. Our own TJ was asked what she did with Sebastian. It's horrible, because they plant a seed and allow others to help grow that seed. But our seed we're planting is the search and the find of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I agree, Grace. That picture was his twin. From the other side, they said the Kentucky sighting was not him. I have not heard that confirmed by anyone else. Hey, Blue Eyes, are you in here still? She can tell us when it was, because she went to Grandfather's Mountain. When was that you went? Do you remember? She was talking to Katie and Chris at the time. Katie kept saying, "That's my son. That's my son. Go. Please go." And Chris kept saying, "That was not him." Even Katie thought it was Sebastian. The one at Grandfather's Mountain. Justin went. Yes, he went. He had no problem. But Chris, knowing that our Blue Eyes was going, she got interrogated, pulled off into a room and interrogated for asking questions. Coincidence? Nah, I don't think so. Well, guys, I'm not going to keep y'all much longer. Tomorrow, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it live. If I do, it will be at 3 o'clock. Yes, it really did look like Sebastian up there. I have 2 ball games tomorrow. And y'all know ball games are my life. And so I'll be going to the ballpark about 5:30. Won't make it home till about 9:30. But I will be loving every minute of it. So be looking for an early live tomorrow. If not, if you can't make it, then maybe you can catch the replay. It was in May. Okay. So it's just a couple of months. Grandfather Mountain was after he passed away. So about 3 months. When you hear people talking about Mr. Chris and what a wonderful guy he is, y'all remember his words that the Native Americans have a saying. And that saying is, when you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. But when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. Those were his words we just heard. Why would he need to talk about a person dying and rejoicing? What is the purpose behind that? When you're talking about your missing stepson, why would you need to say those words, Mr. Chris? Is there something you know and haven't told us? That's my question. Yes. Outer Banks says, do you remember which live Chris said you'll never find him? I will have to go back and look. And goodness, I'm trying to remember which one it was. I've got it. I do have it. And maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll go over that and talk about that tomorrow. How about that? And Outer Banks, thank you so much for that. You are so sweet. Guys, y'all have a super great night. Don't forget, Sebastian is the reason we are here. We're not here to play games. We're not here to have some junior high drama. That's not it. We're here for Sebastian. September, Virgo, you are so sweet. Thank you for that. I so appreciate you. Always remember Sebastian, Wayne Drake Rogers. He's the reason we're here. Y'all stay vigilant. Be careful on the streets. And be kind. And we will see you soon. Love and hugs to everybody. Bye.